All right. Happy Saturday, everybody. How's it going? Hope your weekend is going well. Gonna be, hopefully, well, I say hopefully, gonna be finishing Death Stranding today. We tried valiantly this past Wednesday for the last of our regularly scheduled streams, but as Kojima does, he enjoys his, 5 different credit roll endings, which, to be frank, I expected to a degree. But yeah, we are, I believe, still officially in Chapter 13. So we've already seen, or we're in progress of one credit roll when we decided to, end the last stream. But we'll press on. We'll see what's left. We'll see what conclusions we go to. Are they going to leave us on a cliffhanger ending, or are they actually going to end it sort of deal? And yeah, I think let's just go ahead and get into it. Once I plug my controller in, of course. That's actually kind of a habit of mine, is that if I'm playing a first-person shooter type game, I will typically unplug the controller, because I've seen some weirder interactions from time to time. That's probably just a PUBG thing from back in the day. But, yeah. All of these tips, now that we're this far into the game, like, they should just stop. I know it's programmed in, but, like, they should just stop at this point. Actually, the one thing, my biggest gripe with this game is actually, after you die a couple times, every single time you die, like, more than twice on something, it will recommend that you change the difficulty. But we're on Sam's Beach, apparently. Don't ask me why we're in black and white. I have no idea. It's Kojima's world. We're just along for the ride. So like I said, we're mid-credit roll 1. Of unknown. Let's actually bump up the volume a little bit. Not that there's anything profound right now. Just gonna keep running until Sam can't run anymore. They jebaited the shit out of me. There's got to be somewhere where it wants us to go, because it seemed like once we got to the edge, he gets tired, and then it resets us back to where we were to begin with. If this doesn't work, I'm just gonna walk into the water. Oh, there you go. Maybe.
Quiet, and I'll tell you. There is no time for questions.
When you were young, you used to have bad dreams. You cried about them all the time. The truth is, those weren't your dreams. They were mine. For as long as I can remember, I've dreamt of the beach. Not just while sleeping, in my waking hours too. In my dreams, I watched the world end so many times. Countless past extinctions that decimated life on this planet. Again, and again, and again. At first, I didn't understand what I was seeing or why. And that wasn't the worst of it. There were other, more terrible dreams. Dreams of death and destruction. Of a massive extinction to come. Like this one. And I would always be the one to end it all. To bring about the last stranding. As I have today. The first operation, I was only 20. I opened my eyes and found myself on the beach. But the moment I came round, I was back in the hospital bed. I was split across two worlds. Bridget, my Ha in that one. Amelie, my Ka in this. Somehow, the two of us managed to coexist. Soon, our ages began to diverge. Only Bridget's body got older, while the beach kept Amelie's the same. So I came up with a story. I told people that Amelie was my daughter. A daughter with a debilitating condition and an absent father. Look. Amelie. Is French for soul. A soul that's a lie. There was no Amelie. Only me and the beach. I thought it was a curse in the beginning. But later, I started thinking, maybe I can use this. I tried to find out more about the beach. Because understanding the beach had to be the key to interpreting my visions of the future. I realized the beach was connected to the world of the dead, which meant that somewhere out beyond it were the memories of time itself, including those of every organism that had ever lived. 4.6 billion years of biological history, a history that might even stretch back to the creation of the universe. The chiral network and everything that followed was born from my pursuit of that knowledge. By passing data through the beach, we were unbound by the restrictions of time. Simulations that would have taken years or more were simple and effortless. Everything that the Earth had lost and forgotten could be reconstructed and reclaimed. But shortly after we began our research, America saw its first void out. I thought I was running out of time, that my nightmares were becoming a reality. So I raced to complete the chiral network as quickly as possible. The past held all the answers. If only I could find a way to piece them together. A network that bridged our world and the beach. That might do it, I believed. So I started researching bridge babies, children bound to the world of the dead. What causes an extinction entity to come into being? What was the reason for the previous 5 mass extinctions? The answers to those questions would tell me how to stop the 6th. I founded bridges, more determined than ever to build a chiral network that would cover all of America. But the longer I fought my war against the inevitable, the weaker I became. My Ha had cancer. The beach's punishment, maybe, for not playing along like a good little EE. And then, just like that, my Ha was gone. I couldn't finish what I'd started. So, I asked you to do it for me. And you did. You helped us complete the network. Helped us to reclaim everything the universe experienced from its inception to this moment. Every mystery was ours to solve, like this one. Once, there was an explosion. A big bang that gave birth to time and space. Thing is, it was more like a big fluke. All that matter and antimatter should have canceled itself out, leaving nothing. But somehow a tiny speck of matter survived. Just enough. Enough to make this world and everything in it. A world that shouldn't be, a world out of balance. Order inevitably gives way to chaos. Everything that lives must inevitably die. It's like the universe is trying to return us to the nothing we came from. Maybe the Big Five were its best attempts to finish us off. But somehow, life always managed to survive just enough. Enough to thumb its nose at the will of the cosmos. You know, I'm starting to think that extinction might be the key to overcoming total annihilation. It forces life to fight to survive, to endure, to exist. That's why the Big Five ultimately rekindled life instead of extinguishing it. From the ashes of the dead rise the living. Stronger and wiser. Inheritors of the legacy of existence itself. They defy the universe and refuse to surrender. They say, we're just getting started. Extinction is an opportunity. Pulled the trigger twice that day. I knew at once I'd made a mistake. I found your beach and looked everywhere for you. Sam. There you are. You want to go home? Let's go home. I wanted to set you free from death once and for all.
I don't know why I keep muting myself, but either way. No, all I was saying is, like, would you want to try and go to bed at 1 a.m. mind fucked? 'Cause you'd just be sitting there thinking about, like, what did I just do?
just wanted to save you.
So it's our fault? Of course it is.
I am an extinction entity. It's my fate to lead our species to extinction. But that moment, you became part of that fate. You became a repatriate, and dooms started spreading my nightmares to others throughout the world. It was me that got you and everyone with dooms into this. Not long after, the Death Stranding occurred. The dead clung to our world, and BTs used my beach to cross over and devour them, triggering more void-outs. A catalyst that would set the world on a path to extinction. It was my duty to serve as a sacrifice, to wait and watch it unfold from this beach. That, or hasten the last stranding and end this slow death. Given these, my only options, I chose to end it quickly. But to trigger the last stranding, I needed you, a part of me. Here too. I would be able to witness extinction consummated with you by my side. But now that you're here, there's another choice. You can cut me off. An EE doesn't have that option for itself. But in my nightmares, I saw another future. One that you chose. One where extinction is hope against total annihilation.
Okay. Double the credit roll within the credit roll. Creditception. See if we recognize anybody else in this. I'm trying to look through the voice cast. Although the voice cast wouldn't necessarily tell us a whole lot. Matthew Mercer's in there. Elias Tufexis, who is Adam Jensen in Deus Ex. Mankind Divided and Human Revolution. Hideo did he did mocap. Nice. Herman Holst, who was president of Guerrilla Games, is in there. Who else? Conan O'Brien, Edgar Wright, Jeff Keighley, Jordan Voight Roberts, Sam Lake. Really? I don't think I ran across him. I would know the face of the original Max Payne if I saw him. Yeah, I definitely missed him. I knew I missed a bunch of preppers and stuff. I was considering going back. It's a question of whether I get the standard, hey, you've opened the whole world up. You can go do whatever you want now, which I'm assuming yes, but then again, there's not many games that don't do that, that don't open it back up. That's a standard now. Just trying to see what we can do and not do. Created and developed by Kojima Productions. I want to say we saw Kojima's name only about 10 times at most. $11. I just want the all caps a Hideo Kojima game, just straight across the screen. Kind of disappointed that we didn't get it. So there's a speck of dust. There we go. All right, you gonna let us off the beach now? This is clearly not it. Ah, okay.
A gun won't help you here. But it still has a role to play.
Reconnect with the living. All right. All I had to do is press square. Fine.
Listen, Sam. I was the one that brought you and Cliff together again. There was something I wanted you to know. You were never abandoned. And you're not alone. Don't you see, Sam? You have to live.
Here they are in the sky.
I see him. This way. He's over there. Over here now. That's him. We're coming, Sam. You ready, Raja? Ready.
They're just yelling at me at once.
Luke,
Don't give up. You're still connected.
Gotcha.
In the middle of a nightmare, dead man is just pulling at your leg. Well, we know this whole scenario already. Is there anybody to touch? And there we are. We stopped the last Stranding. Additional likes, stop Amelie. So it doesn't feel like we did a whole lot of anything. Cutscene number
For too
2.
long have we lived as strangers to one another.
Knew it.
Divided by walls built to keep us safe. But now with the completion of the Chiral network, we may at last move forward as a people united. Today we come together to celebrate the birth of a new nation. A new nation for a new world. The United Cities of America. I once took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And though that proud republic may be no more, we remain. And so, as your president, I hereby swear to support and defend you, the people. Let there be no more walls between us, nor masks to hide who we are.
I was gonna say, he better take it off.
Let there be a new America. An America where we can face one another. Where we can
We do have to
speak
wear
our
masks.
minds and open our hearts.
You're absolutely right.
The old ways die hard. But I believe, my fellow Americans, that we have the strength and the courage to rise above our past and embrace our future. The Death Stranding is a part of that past. An enduring shadow. A constant reminder of what could have been. That we stand here today is testament, not to the greatness of any one individual, but to our capacity to come together.
Is it just me, or is Sam Big Boss standing in the corner?
Our collective greatness. All things must come to an end, ourselves included. But as long as we savor each moment, find joy in the promise of tomorrow, embrace hope, and reject despair, we will endure. President Bridget Strand and her daughter Samantha, America Strand, sacrificed everything in their pursuit of hope that we, the people, might be whole again. That they are not here today to see the fruits of their labor fills us all with a profound sadness. But we find comfort in the knowledge that their memories will live on in the chiral network and in our hearts. We will always remain connected. There is another hero in this story. One whose achievements seem destined to go unrecognized. America still needs that hero. That person without whom we would not be here. Now, the name is unimportant, but you know who I mean. And for that unsung hero, I have a message. It was you who brought us together. You who made us whole again. And while you and I will eventually pass on, we will be...
Going somewhere, Sam? Tired of being the unsung hero?
No, I'm done is all. She's gone.
Come on, wait. There's something I need to tell you. Huh. This doesn't bother you anymore? Well, that's great. Now, wouldn't you like to know how we brought you back from the beach? We were going to use the doll, but didn't have one handy, which is when I remembered something else.
Not what I think it is.
Yes. What could be more connected to Amelie's beach than President Strand's umbilical cord? Hartman thought that's why she left it with me in the first place. Unfortunately...
It didn't work.
Yeah, she'd already cut her beach loose. It was just gone. We didn't know if that meant she dragged you into the great beyond, or sent you to some other beach. We were really racking our brains. Hartman and Mama split up and started searching every beach you might feasibly have washed up on. We looked for a month with absolutely nothing to show for it.
A month on the outside. How long on the inside?
Trust me when I tell you, you don't want to know. But don't worry. We found no signs of accelerated aging. In the end, this is what led us to you. Just when we were about to give up, Die Hardman reminded us about the revolver. So, we tried to follow it, and it led us to a far corner of your own beach. And bingo, there you were. Mama made visual contact first. She was able to see you from her vantage point on the other side. She informed Lochner via their connection, and Hartman confirmed your location during his subsequent NDE. The plan was for Fragile to, in essence, slingshot Lou and me to your position so we could rescue you. But it's not so easy to send multiple individuals to another person's beach for an extended period of time. And that's where the umbilical cord came in. We wove these from President Strand's DNA. They serve as a single knot that binds us all. The President must have known all of this would happen. Ironic, isn't it? The gun that set this whole mess in motion ends up being the key to saving you.
Amelie, she said it had another purpose.
Not a weapon, but a lifeline. A stick that became a rope. I suppose that's one way of putting it. Oh, Sam. You have no idea how long I've been waiting to give you a hug. Got something else to tell you. Top secret. It's about Cliff. BB's mother's name was Lisa Bridges, Cliff's common-law wife.
Lisa Bridges?
Now, Cliff was killed by a man identified in the records only as John. Former U.S. Special Forces. Quite good at it by all accounts. later appointed as an aide to the president, who used him for most of her wet work. The records go on to state that he vanished after Cliff's death. A warrant was put out, but he was later found dead. Turned out some people die harder than others, though. Dear John donned a mask and reappeared with a new identity. But you can't fool the chiral network. We restored the old records, and Mama hid them deep in the archives. You're the only one, besides us, with access privileges. Take a look if you're so inclined. But don't say I didn't warn you. The President's got some dirty, dirty laundry. I don't trust him, but I'll work with him if that's what it takes. We'll talk later.
Sam. I don't expect you to forgive me. But would you hear me out? I killed Captain Clifford Unger. I would tell you I did it for America. For love of country. But I didn't. I did it for her. Because I loved her with all my heart. She was everything to me. Everything. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses. I just want you to know that not a day's gone by when I haven't thought about it. Time didn't help. Or the mask. Please, let me finish. The captain, saved my life. You know why they call me Die Hardman. Because he wouldn't let me die. He brought my sorry ass back home every time. And I loved him as much as I loved her. And when he stared me down, that ghost, I knew he was here to kill me, to make it right. And why shouldn't he? Why didn't he? He couldn't save his kid, his baby. And that's what brought him back. I guess when he saw I was trying to do my part for America, he remembered who he was. And he forgave me. God! But I don't deserve it, God damn it! There is no atoning for what I've done. God!
Maybe this is the next best thing. Maybe he brought me back from the beach for a reason. One last time. He wanted me to do this. To keep on being Die Hardman.
No. He didn't. Nobody wants a president who acts like they're immortal. And if you're not scared of death, how can you value life? And life is pretty fucking fragile right now. And yeah, the old ways die hard. But that's what's gonna have to happen if we're gonna come together and build a better America. That gun won't help you here. That's her words, not mine.
Thank you, Sam.
Nice to see Raiden talk sense into Snake. More or less.
Hey, Sam. Been waiting for you.
Lou? Dead?
Poor thing was never truly alive. Not in this world, at least. The decommissioning order finally came through. Can't risk necrosis. The body can't stay here. I thought you might want to take care of it. You could try taking Lou out of the pod just to see what happens. But that would be in direct contravention of an executive order. And there are laws about that kind of thing, now that we're a nation. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But if the alternative is defying the president, I can't do that either. Not me.
All right. I'll go to the incinerator.
Before you leave, I'd like to check something quickly. I just took your cufflinks offline. In that state, there'd be nothing to stop you from removing them. If you did, the UCA wouldn't know where you were or how to find you. You'd be invisible. When you use the incinerator, you'll be reconnected to the network automatically. I trust you'll remember what I said.
Right. Absolutely. Thanks for everything. How's the weather?
Don't think you'll be needing an umbrella. I decided to follow my father's dream after all. Don't worry. I won't get mixed up with any terrorists this time. UCA's got my back. We're the first private delivery company to get the official approval.
Sounds like you're moving up in the world. Congratulations.
Thanks. Wait. There's something I have to tell you. I didn't shoot Higgs. Couldn't pull the trigger. So I let him choose. Death or eternal solitude on the beach.
Fair enough. You never did like breaking things.
That's right. I find and fix what's broken. And reconnect. I'm fragile.
But not that fragile.
Wanna come work for me? Could use a man like you.
The world's still broken. Same as before.
What isn't? But we're still here. We're still chugging along.
Not everyone. Not me.
Come on. You put America back together, didn't you?
Doesn't mean there's a place for me. I've got no ties to anyone or anything. I might as well be dead. I felt like that when we first met in the cave. I still do.
Don't act like you're the same person. You've learned how to touch, to feel. You've connected with people. With us.
Everything I touch, I lose.
Sam!
Come on, Lou. One last delivery.
Well, I have some confidence that they're not going to let this go in an incinerator, but I could be wrong. Started it like it ends, or just like it started it ends, yes. Can we get the Mads version of this song? That's what we really need. We still got cryptobiotes, though. We still have the initial ladders and everything that were here. Yeah, Igor. Wonder if you play for long enough, these will disappear. I kind of figured they would, but what do I know? There we are. With a bunch of bodies still floating in the sky. Well, I was wondering if they'd have some sort of, like, not necessarily character reversal, but, you know, at least Samford, you know, feels something. But he wants to go it alone.
All right. I guess we're here. You still with me, Lou?
Poor thing was never truly alive. Not in this world, at least.
Thanks for everything.
Child special. One of a kind.
A baby candidate.
Either that, or
A sacrifice.
a foundation. A bridge.
Brought you an astronaut. Mankind can go anywhere, even outer space. You'll be out of there in no time. And the second all this is over, I'm gonna take you wherever you want to go. Can I help you? Holy shit. John, is that you?
Captain, what are you doing here?
My wife's checked in. They don't want a repeat of last year.
The Void out in Manhattan. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were the husband.
This
isn't what we agreed on. You said you'd do everything in your power to save Bibi.
We are. But we cannot release your son just yet. Believe me when I tell you it's for the best.
This is a woman in a mask who's done nothing but lie to me.
I have a duty to protect our country. Lies are an unfortunate necessity.
The President gave me the highest level access privileges. I've used them to manipulate the security system. We have 5 minutes before it resets, sir. 5 minutes to talk. Off the record. Take BB and get out of this place. There's nothing I can do for your wife. I'm sorry. You were my commanding officer, but I swore an oath to the President to protect her and the country at all costs. Now, if she orders me to do something, I have to do it. I have to. But I served under you first. And your family doesn't deserve this. Any of this.
Why are you helping me? If they catch you.
Because you saved my life, sir. Again and again. When the brass sent us into the jaws of hell, it was you that brought us home. Back then, I thought I was invincible. I thought I was some kind of action hero. But I'm not the hero. You are, sir. You're the reason I'm still alive. And it's past time I paid that debt. They're moving your son to a new facility tomorrow. You'll never see him again. He'll serve as the foundation of a new communications network. A sacrifice for a nation that no longer exists. I wrote down everything you need to know. It was the only way to keep it off the system. Burn it when you're done. The rest is up to you, sir. I believe this belongs to you, sir. Now, I can't terminate your wife's life support from inside her room. System won't allow it. So, this is the only other option. An alarm is set to go off if she flatlines. I've rigged the system to spoof her vitals. But you won't have long. 5 minutes, tops. Don't hesitate, sir. This is the only chance you'll get.
Lisa. Don't worry. I'll take care of him. I promise you. I promise you. My animal, Lisa.
Fucking double taps his own wife. That's... wow.
BB. BB. BB, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Daddy.
Here we go. Feels bad. Well, it's our objective. Even though I'm kind of wondering if we could just run off into the sunset. Hold on. Can we do anything here? Wait, the cufflinks aren't attached, so I can't adjust cargo. Can't look down at the BB pod. Wait, there we go.
Lou. Hey, Lou. I'm sorry, Lou. Hey, Lou. I'm sorry, Lou.
So we can't even get to the menu where, like, we might be manipulating the pod or whatever. We'll just go with it. Seeing if there's some, like, meta Kojima. Yeah, had to check. Wouldn't be the first time we've had some sort of puzzle to figure out, but let's go and
I just took your cufflinks offline.
see if he smashes it.
In that state, there'd be nothing to stop you from removing them. If you did, the UCA wouldn't know where you were or how to find you. You'd be invisible. When you use the incinerator, you'll be reconnected to the network automatically. You could try taking Lou out of the pod just to see what happens. But that would be in direct contravention of an executive order. purpose it cannot fulfill outside the pod. There is a 70% risk of catastrophic failure simply in removing it.
So you get to walk back through the scenes. All right, where's Mads? Question is, did he get double-crossed by Die Hardman, or this is just bad luck?
Freeze! Hey, put it down! Drop it! Put it down!
Back off.
Back off! Get up! Don't do it! I'll handle this. I'm sorry, Captain. Don't! You got it! You two! Stay there! And hold your fire!
Thanks for trying, John.
Stop!
Step aside, sir, or we'll be forced to open fire.
It's a dead end. He's trapped. Security will take it from here.
double taps the door panel as well.
I'm sorry, Lisa. I screwed it up. I've ruined everything.
This room is off limits. No one goes in. But he's in there, sir. I saw him. You saw him wrong. Now check the other way. Go! Yes, sir.
No. Open it up, he's inside.
Move, dumbass.
BB. Don't worry. It's okay. I'll always be with you. See the sunset, the day is ending. Let that yawn out, there's no pretending. I will hold you and protect you. So let love warm you till the morning. When I found out I was gonna be a father, I was so scared. Scared of what it would mean. I had to be there for you and your mom, no matter what. I couldn't just go off and get myself killed anymore. Couldn't leave you all alone. I couldn't.
Get off of him! Now!
I had it all wrong. All wrong. Being a father didn't make me scared. It made me brave. I'm sorry. Sorry it took me so long.
Captain, look at you.
Don't make the same mistake. Be yourself. Be free.
Oh my God.
Captain, I need you to hand it over.
Shoot him, John.
Let it go. Please.
Shoot him! I I gave you an order. Shoot him!
You told me your name was Sam Porter. But you're Sam Bridges. My son. My bridge to the future. Without you, I was just like any other Cliff. Dead end. No way forward. Nothing but an obstacle. Looking on at the world people like you were trying to build. Dividing people was the only thing I was ever good at. But not you, Sam. You bring people together. You're their bridge to the future. And mine. Come on, Sam. Stand up.
Is this me?
Oh, God. Not BB2.
No, 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 no!
And that's how he got to the beach in the first place. Yeah, and how the gun connected everything. Yeah, I mean, they showed us everyone, or the Mads and the dolls that were in all the war zones, and Sam all had that same scar.
There you are.
And I was too dumb to realize it before, but that's also the shape of the Odra deck when you connect a new place into the network.
You want to go home? Let's go home. It's okay. I know the way.
Spaceman.
There you are. Welcome back.
You understand his days as a BB are over, now that his connection to the other side has been severed.
It was me who cut the cord. So yes.
A deathless repatriate in the world of the living. Should we decommission him?
In a manner of speaking. Take him out of the pod. I'll raise him as my own.
do.
Huh. I was gonna say a real rain. There, I think that was it for real that time. Easily his most closed work. Yeah. There's really no way to sequelitis that. There was, there's a certain, I don't know. You could either take it as that's how it was written, or you could kind of take that as they have no idea how this is going to go. Depending on your thoughts about it. There you go. A Hideo Kojima game. After some time digesting, I want to talk with you about it, but I find it the greatest distillation of what he was trying to say with the Metal Gear series. Yeah. By a certain point, it totally felt like I was playing a Metal Gear game. And, well, I guess you can do that without, when you're not going for huge sales, possibly. You're free to tell the story you want to, even though, although supposedly he had close to unlimited budget in the past. I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic to think about. The way I'd introduce this to people is, would you have bought the game if it was an allegory for fatherhood and altruism and responsibility? Yep, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, Kojima is, more or less hitting on a ton of the same themes, and that's what it's been. Throw nukes and nanomachines and all that aside, whether it's a Bridge Baby or the beach or a Stranding or whatever, it's different way to tell the same story. And if you want to distill it down, it's a game that made you think. everyone hated Higgs, but Higgs is perfect. He's a teenager and an internet troll. He was aware he's playing a game and can't articulate anything more. Yeah. All the game over talk and everything like that. He knew his part to play. Which is Higgs Ocelot. I'll throw that thought in there too. Talking about playing your allotted part. There are only a few who actually know what's going on. Chiral opposite of Sam in most ways. Sam literally follows the same thought patterns of Higgs to many points, but only at the end, with connections to reminding him of Lou, what was going to be, his son or daughter's name for the original disaster. Yeah, that's absolutely right. I'm pretty sure he even says they're not so different. You find his journal entries where he goes into his thought patterns and they rule. I was definitely looking for that because there's tons of stuff. We'll go to his little bunker at some point, probably off stream. There's so many interviews and things to read through. It's reminiscent of all the audio tapes that you get from Metal Gear Solid 5. And if you did listen through those, I actually really enjoyed that part of Metal Gear Solid 5 more than I thought I would. Also, the one other comment is that, if nothing else, in the games they've made recently, I was going to say the music totally is fitting. Kojima's had that right. Or whoever is doing all the music. I don't want to credit him with everything. I'm sure he had some part in it, but yeah. But it makes sense. He did pull the group for this soundtrack specifically. Hey. It's mostly off of a specific Icelandic album. The one thing Kojima has always had, and he might miss in some other areas, but he's always had vision of what he wants. You can get lost in the execution. I'm not trying to, project manage this, but yeah. Also, good on Sony. I mean, this is probably the easiest thing you could have done, but help Kojima make a game. Also, props for letting this be on PC. I don't think I had really a crash out of this. Yeah. Just hand him a bag of money, walk away for 2 to 3, 4 years. There you go. Valve Corporation, yeah, for companion cubes and all that other stuff. Porter's connected with. That's funny. Mainly Low Roar's Zero album. Maybe I'll take a look through it. In the context of the game, it totally works. Yeah. Decima engine. Yeah, if you listen to it in a vacuum, I'm sure, like, you know what? Maybe not my cup of tea, but if nothing else, it'll evoke, you know, the same sort of feelings. Yeah. After credits scene? It wouldn't be a Kojima game without one.
Louise.
It's a girl. Tiny bit of social commentary at the end, in my opinion. That they reveal it's a girl. But yeah, I did. It did remind me of the point I was wondering earlier for like the French localization. It was Amelie, Amelie. And now you can walk into people like the most pretentious, stupid game ever made. Walking sim delivery, Amazon sim. Well, we want in even more, you know, I don't want to get too far into it, but yeah, we're again social commentary. I want to go shoot things or whatever. All Kojima had to do was mostly take the guns away. I wonder if the original build of this game had no guns at all. Or the original vision. Almost suits BB all the way. $200 on the nose. We didn't really do a whole lot of side stuff. New features have been added to your private room. Memories of Cliff. Change color scheme. Ah, so that's how people did it. I saw somebody's safe house was like, all the walls were black. I'm like, how the hell did you even get this? Tomorrow's in your hands. Oh, man. 2 weeks earlier.
Good morning, Sam. Blood collection.
Change color if it's shelter immune with a PCC and level 2+.
Well, look who's awake. Morning, Sam. You'll be happy to hear your vitals have stabilized, and that you're well on your way to recovery. Ah, not that it's your fault, but what I wouldn't give to trade places. We're all stuck in the president's office, working like dogs to get everything ready in time for the inauguration. But at least one of us is still free as a bird. You should head out. Make the most of it. Could even do some orders if you wanted. Might do you good to get back in the game. You may recall it was raining buckets back when you left for Amelie's Beach. We took a real beating at the time, but we've done our best to service the structures and vehicles in the area. So you know, any cargo that was stored in your private locker at a damaged facility should have been transferred to your private locker here at this distro center. Anyway, busy or not, we'll still be on the end of the line if you need us. And if you want some alone time, we should be able to manage for now. Just make sure you're back in time for the big day, all right? See you then. Hey, Sam. You sure you don't have any unfinished business?
You know, that was a very interesting way to tell us that we kind of had the freedom.
EX grenade number 0.
I've seen it before where they just kind of just drop you back in. And yes, you did absolutely call 2 hours-ish on the head. Like, full credit in that regard. Yeah. Definitely a good thing that we, we stopped on Wednesday. But yeah, since Lou is still, you know, there and everything, I guess somehow, you know, she's still functioning.
You asleep?
Well, all right. Could go make some connections. I'm sure there's plenty of achievements and whatnot left to get.
Scanning bridges ID. Verify.
I know for absolute certain that I left a lot on the table in terms of what you calls it, standard deliveries, bot deliveries, and whatnot. They're married, divorced, married again. Well, seemingly.
ID.
You know, the one thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to Higgs' place.
Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
I at least want to go take a peek. And if there's any orders that catch our eye, might do that. The post guides the present. Oh, did I read enough mail messages? Alright, we want to do... not Port Knot, we want Lake Knot. Is there a closer one to... Isn't he up here? I think that's the one we want.
Been a while, Sam. It's good to see you. Remember how to do this? You need to close your eyes and picture your destination.
And off we go. Structures are level 2 or above can use music, basically. I didn't really do a whole lot of, in terms of strand contracts and stuff. Or actually, I didn't do really any of them. Probably could have if I was like trying to like build the entire road network all over the place. Probably would have. Oh. All right. That's where we're going. It's super weird running around without any cargo. Northeastern Healing Spring. I never used any of these either. Rich in calcium sulfate. This spring is said to aid in the healing of cuts, bruises, sprains, and other minor injuries, as well as restoring stamina and reducing fatigue in general. Better still, its waters are safe for infants and small children, so they too can benefit from a brief dip. Travelers young and old are encouraged to rest here if they have time to spare.
Nice and warm.
Alright, back on track. Actually got an achievement for using one for the first time. So they let me go ahead and adjust my title real quick. Just in case. I don't want to be that person where they stumble in and I ruin something. So there's nothing to ruin with this timefall. So basically they've kind of just reset everything that way. Timefall's still a thing, BTs are still a thing. We don't have our otter hood on. What a shame. Sunglasses, otter hood.
God damn it, man.
It's funny how you can basically make him take his hood off in the middle of Timefall. Resins. Probably not even worth it, but whatever. We need to carry something. Otherwise, this game just doesn't feel right. I think we have enough crystals. Yeah, 12,477 crystals.
There we go.
We were just rolling in it.
That's a big one.
After taking out certain bosses and whatnot. You know, being done with the story and everything, you kind of just have like a blank slate on what you need to do. Something kind of like peaceful about it. I could probably see myself doing some standard orders if I was just looking for something to play. Okay, nobody's got anything here. It's now fully a delivery sim.
There we go. There we go.
Got ourselves a nice little rainbow going on.
There we go. There we go.
Interesting. Is it just this area that where it's raining, or am I getting close to the like abandoned factory or whatever it is?
There we go. Nice.
More on Higgs being a teenager. All he wants is pizza. All the time. Egyptian sarcophagus thing? There's the pizza.
Gotta work on those core muscles.
Higgs was here. Huh. The particle of God. The world is calling for deliveries, but I need more power. Wait, what am I picking up?
There we go.
Oh, memory chip. Bridges can't make bridges. Alright, let's Man, we've got the whole frickin' network here too. The legendary deliverer. I was gonna say, not all of these are It would be really interesting if that they use like actual like things you did. Charlie always Sunny conspiracy. Yeah. This is absolutely what this is. He's where he's got the cigarette in his mouth or whatever. That is absolutely what this is. I wonder if, like, I assume that's what Kojima was going for.
Gotta work on those core muscles.
Talking about working on your core muscles, Sam. Shut up. Game over, Sam. Strange things in the dark. No continues. Well, we did get his memory chip, so we can take that back. So can we do deliveries even though we're not even... Yeah, I was gonna say, there's nobody even here. Well, I mean, the only deliveries that were ever going there were for pizza. So let's go back to Lake Knot City, throw down the memory chip, and see what we get from it.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
I don't even have any weapons. Yoink. But yeah, at this point, like, once you beat the game, like, the whole thing is probably turns into, what do you want to call it? You could just turn this into helping other players. And it seems like that's what some people did, is that, yeah, gigantic friendship simulator. Yeah, you could totally just farm likes out of everybody, whether selfish or not, you know. That's a thing. Selfishness benefits everyone. I get more likes, I get more, you know, carrying capacity and things like that. I can't remember what bridge links exactly give you.
There we go.
You can make more strand contracts. Incentivize altruistic behavior. Imagine like when they were, you know, trying to not play test it, but like actually consider how do we make people, you know, go and help each other. And I'd say they did a pretty damn good job of it. You know, just I'm helping myself if I help everybody else. As was, you know, kind of mentioned in the beginning of the game, they took the can't just like just hide things. Yeah, that too. Yeah, it's taking the Dark Souls sign idea and expanding it farther than that game would ever go, which, you know, it wouldn't make any sense in the scope of the game to do any more than that. In terms of Dark Souls, I mean.
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID. Clear. All weapons will remain locked until the welcome to Lake Knot City. Proceed to distribution.
Welcome to Lake Knot City. Well, Lou's happy. Alright, let's deliver this memory chip. There were a ton of those in the world I never even had gotten.
Well, thanks. You did me a real favor there.
The following data can now be viewed via your cufflinks. An unknown man's journal, part 3.
Thank you for your contribution.
Secret confessions of a certain someone. Access the interviews menu to share more, or to learn more. Share more. Just staff, preppers. There, Higgs journal. Well, we're kind of missing 1 through 9, but Samantha American Strand, Amelie. The moment I met her, I knew she was destined to make us whole again. She told me we'd do it together. She even gave me a gift, a bridge baby. It's a BT sensor of sorts, although it looks like a newborn, but it's not. Amelie says it was born on the beach, and that it serves as a link between our world and the other side. Between me and her, too, if I keep it with me at all times... between me and her, too, if I keep it at all times. She called it a new child for a new era. I'm not just a delivery guy anymore. I'm a herald for her and her new world. She's given me everything I ever wanted, ever needed, and now I'm free to cut Fragile loose. Okay, yep. BB reminds me of a baby doll, but it's no toy, that's for sure. Neither dead nor alive, half human, half something else. An inhabitant of the in-between, like a mummy. Oh, yeah, I guess that is an apt description of it. A lump of flesh wrapped around a shriveled yet still beating heart. So many symbols to choose from, all signifying that humanity's reached the end of the road. The Stranding was big number 6. I see that now. And so much more. The void outs, the bodies, birthing BTs, all aspects of a single phenomenon that exists solely to wipe us off the face of the earth. Can't stop what's coming. It's inevitable. Putting Humpty Dumpty back together won't change a goddamn thing. And risking your life and limb to try is a fool's errand. Why sacrifice what little you've gotten in the here and now for a future that'll never come? It's wasteful and meaningless. Amelie'd agree, I'm sure. So we're kind of reading his descent into, what he became, by the time we met him. Met Amelie on the beach again and pressed her for more answers about the Stranding. But she wouldn't give me anything. Maybe she's got nothing left to give. Maybe she's waiting till the time's right. I don't know. I don't care. We all know there's no escaping extinction. I'm struggling to see her angle. Why even pretend to rebuild? Why rail against the inevitable? But there's another layer to this. I can't work it out, and I'm getting sick and tired of trying. She's not going to let me in on her plans. I'm going to have to assume the worst and take matters into my own hands. Well, future's in your hands, as they say. Give humanity the coup de grace myself. Just need the power to do it. Dear Diary, today I nuked Middle Knot City. Wiped it clean off the map. Didn't carry the bomb myself, of course. Fragile did the honors. Delivered my mercy to the people like a good little porter. I'm sure she's surprised, but she shouldn't be. Death and destruction are part and parcel of the human condition, and bringing people together only exacerbates that. Be careful what you wish for, eh? It's like when our ancestors came from the old world to the new and brought their old world diseases with them. Natives had no immunity, and over half died in the blink of an eye. Bam. We've only come up with better, more effective ways of killing since then. Or since. The network's just another means of hastening the end. This was always the logical conclusion of our efforts, mine and Fragile's. Maybe that's why I partnered up with her, because in my heart of hearts, I knew it was building to this. Okay, so now we're at the point where we're in the picture, and we don't know, we don't know how long into the past Higgs was aware of Sam. At least a couple of years. Sam Porter, where to begin? Dooms, Repatriate, Lone Wolf, Amelie's adopted brother, motherfucker. Impression I get is he's a loner who's found meaning in being a good Samaritan. Yeah, I tried on that mask on for size once upon a time. Sweet little Emily, though, she buys into his act. Thinks he's got what it takes to help her make America whole again. I tell you what, the more I look into it, the more it seems like he actually might be a true believer. Fucking hell. Anyway, he's a dead man walking, even with Emily's help. He'll be in Central before long, and the second he shows, I'm bringing a shit ton of BTs down on his head and turning that place into a crater. Then it's bye-bye Sammy Porter, bye-bye Bridges HQ, bye-bye Expedition Team. Yes, motherfucker. Well, he didn't put it in all caps, but we get right to the point of what Higgs thought. Okay, so 15 is about the beginning of the game. Sam's still alive, not even a void out's enough to keep her repatriate down. Sticks in my craw. Second expedition got wiped out, obviously, but Sam seems happy to head west all by himself. Stupid fuck's crazier than me, or maybe just desperate. Still can't figure out why rebuilding the nation is so important to him. Well, whatever. He wants to keep at it, he can be my guest. Even if he still had the others backing him up, it wouldn't make a difference. Ending has already been written. I've worked it out. Worked out exactly how it's going to go down. But dooms alone isn't enough. I need a greater power to finish the job. To rain down fire and brimstone on these modern-day Sodoms and Gomorrahs. Number 16. Discovered the truth about the Death Stranding. Amelie's powers have nothing to do with dooms. She's destruction incarnate. The angel of the Death Stranding. The extinction entity. I understand now what my true role is. The bridge that will deliver her judgment to this world. The executor of the end. No one knows, not even Sam. But they will. Sam's arrived in Port Knot City, with Fragile to boot. Think I'll meet them there, and bring a B2 or two along for the ride. It's past time I showed Bridges how powerful I've become. Come one, come all. We'll have ourselves an annihilation party, and when that's over, there'll be no one left to come between me and Emily and the end of the world. After that, goddamn is Sammy Boy stubborn. Just ain't the quitting type. Seems it's rubbing off on Emily, too. Girl's trying to fight her true nature. Flip the script for all the good it'll do to her. What difference does it make if it ends tomorrow or a million years from now? The planet's 4.6 billion years old, and the universe? God only knows. Humanity's entire history is a blip on the time scale. What's the fucking point of fighting for a fraction longer? Anyway, Sam and Fragile made it to Lake Knot City, which is just as well. I reckon my old partner's due for a stroll down memory lane. A saunter through the crater she carved out with that nuke of mine. Come to think of it, maybe Sam ought to walk it with her. Yeah, I think I'll have him make a special delivery for me. Also, actually, looping back around again, of course, the whole Ocelot is even more... Because that's exactly what I said when we picked up a nuke. I mean, it's Ocelot place a bomb in your items, but they were pretty overt about it. Alright. Well, shit. Sam and Fragile managed to dispose of my nuke before it went off. They weren't smart enough to see through my disguise, but something must have tipped them off. Probably what I wrote on the tag. I knew I should have resisted the temptation, but come on. Who the hell reads that shit these days? And now he's halfway to the coast, but he's in my neck of the woods now, and my boys ain't about to let up. We're gonna make him regret ever fucking with me and mine. The fuck was that storm that sucked up Sam? Supercell or whatever? I hooked up my BB just before it arrived, and it started shaking and blinking, and it's all gone. It's all gone sideways. There's something else out there. Something all kinds of fucked up. Don't need BB to tell me that. Well, he definitely didn't seem aware of Cliff. I've got Amelie, fucking finally. She's trapped in Edge Knot City. A horde of BTs all around. She's not going anywhere now. No, I'm gonna go take good care of my sweet little angel of death, my extinction enemy. We got plans, me and her. As for you, Sammy boy, you're gonna learn what it means to really suffer. How many of these? 26, okay. So this is at the point where we've gotten toward Edge Knot, I guess. Welcome to the Edge, Sam. You're a real asshole, but I've got to admit, you've got grit. You remind me of me in that regard. And because we share a connection to Emily. She gave you your dream catcher, me my Kipu, but you've never seen her face, have you? Never looked her in the eye and seen her for what she truly is. Time to wake up and smell the ashes, Sammy boy. Time for me to tell everyone. The truth that hides at the heart of the Stranding. You're gonna love it. I'd go grab some shut-eye at a distro center or whatever if I were you. We've got a showdown coming. And you're gonna want to be fighting fit. Just don't keep me waiting too long, you hear? You're all alone now. You've lost everything. Your mask, her Kipu, the BB doll, gone. You thought you had the power, that you were the one fated to lead them unto extinction. Yet here you are, alone. You thought you were in control, that this was your role, your dream, the verge of victory, of oblivion for one and all. Herald, executor, pawn, god particle? Ha! A stupid name for a stupid goddamn fool. This was your life, Higgs, your tale, told by an idiot full of sound and righteous fury, signifying nothing. Oh, it was after we beat him. Got it. My first memory is of looking up at the ceiling of our shelter, as a baby bawling my eyes out. How are these people remembering when they were a baby? Never mind. Let's not get sidetracked there. All of a sudden, the hand of God comes into view, blotting out the steel sky. Daddy lifts me up, not gentle, but not hard. Shouts some stuff, but it's all gibberish I can't make heads or tails of. He ain't my real daddy, though. That one died before I was born, and Mama soon after. Of disease or something. I don't know. Her brother took me in and whisked me away from that shelter reeking of piss and death and brought me here, Daddy number 2. He never really took to it. He was an ugly, violent man, full of anger and with nowhere to go. Tried to love me in his own way, but I don't know if he ever had it in him. Daddy told me our shelter was our world, and I believed him. I grew up thinking that no one but us two existed. Then, when I got a little older, I started asking questions. Simple questions about the food, where the food came from, that kind of thing. Got smacked upside the head for my troubles, but try as he might, couldn't beat the curiosity out of me. One day I peeked at his monitor. Oop. It was the first glimpse I'd ever caught of the outside world. I pestered Daddy about it, and you bet I caught holy hell for it. But I wore him down. Eventually he came clean and admitted there was a whole world out there, soaked to the bone by timefall and overrun by demons that had eaten me up. It occurred to me later that his fear-mongering probably got my mama killed, filling her head with his hysterics about the dead walking the earth, and the only safe haven being 6 feet under. Sheesh. My mama entrusted me to her brother, so he had no choice but to raise me best he could. Say what you will about the man, but he had himself a sense of obligation. He might have even harbored a measure of affection for me, but whatever was in his heart he expressed with his hands, his fists. Any hopes and dreams he might have had for me, for us, fell by the wayside pretty quick. We slipped into a daily routine of warnings to stay the fuck inside, bookended by the beatings to drive the point home. I think sometimes he sincerely believed that was the only way to protect me, but I wasn't about to go on living like that. Can't cage a young boy's spirit. If I'd stayed, I'd have died, body and soul. I had to get out. Started hoarding supplies in secret, but he caught on. That was the beginning of the worst beating yet. He was grabbing anything and everything within reach that could be used as a weapon, tearing the shelter apart, smashing furniture, all the while wailing like a wounded animal, tears streaming down his face. He pinned me down, tears and spit flying in my face as he blubbered on about me not understanding his pain, his fucking pain. His hands around my neck, darkness creeping in from the corners, his fucking pain, his fucking pain. The kitchen knife in my hands, in his neck, his hands, his fucking hands. They grow weak, and he just deflates like a balloon all over me. I roll him off, and I look into his glassy eyes, filled with his fucking pain and our steel sky. That's about how I figured Higgs ended up in the first place. That's very fitting, I guess. Or it explains a lot. I didn't know how to feel after. I spent the night next to him, my mind a blank canvas. In the back of it, a nagging voice saying I had to dispose of it. Daddy hadn't told me much, but he had told me about how bodies would go necro, pop BTs, and all that. Made for a good bedtime story. So I knew what would happen if I let him lie. Death had come into our home and turned it into a crater. His stink was starting to fill up the room. I had to deal with him, had to get him out, get him as far away as possible. So I got my arms under his and dragged him out into a new world with a new sky. Bigger, emptier, bare rock dotted with bushes all around. Mountains, fucking mountains off in the distance, chiral clouds hugging their peaks. My knees started getting wobbly, and the world began to spin. But I knew the clock was ticking. Eyes down. Got to deal with Daddy. I'd been moving at a steady clip when I saw it. Chiralium coming off Daddy. Little motes of shimmering like I was running out of time. I was out of time. I laid him down in the dirt, but before I let go, I had a vision. My hands, still resting on his body, disappeared, vaporized into a fine mist. Poof. And then I felt another presence, a BT, coming slow but sure, like it had been walking since the beginning of time. Daddy's keeper. That was the first one I sensed, but it wasn't the last. For a long while after, I remained awakened to their presence, a sixth sense, Daddy's parting gift to me. Over time, it'd fade, but I knew how I'd got it, and I knew how to get it back. All I needed was another body, and I got real good at making them. Death for life, theirs for mine, a fair exchange. Huh. That is quite a lot of insight into Higgs the character. I mean, yes, you know, he is what he is, but yeah, we got to learn a little more about him. So that's pretty cool. I'll if there's any more good journal entries, I'll probably read through those on my own time. But now that we know about Higgs, and now that the future is for us to make all the 5-star connections and things like that, and build roads and do whatever levels, I think we'll call it there. I think this is actually can't remember this is stream number 10 or 11, but we've spent quite a bit of time on Death Stranding, and I am always a bit leery of playing open world games since they take me, depending on how many times I play per week, they always take the better part of a month. But this one, I kind of felt like I needed to play just because, well, if nothing else, I believe that Kojima would make a decent game, and not wrong there. Final thoughts. I can gripe about the controls a little bit and, some of the mechanics. Those are shortcomings of the game engine that was used. I will chalk it up to. You're only as good as the tools sometimes. But in order to get this game going, it's not like Kojima Productions could just, zap a new engine into existence. That takes years. They kind of, Kojima was a part of it once at Konami with the Fox engine and everything, but yeah. The one thing that the biggest improvement over the other game that was made using this engine, which was, Horizon Zero Dawn, if you didn't know that, by Guerrilla Games, is that in Horizon, the character models and, speaking everything, that was very stiff if you used the in-game models. In this, unbelievably better. And the mocap work and everything was great. I don't know, they did an awesome job with that. You've heard Horizon runs like piss right now? I've kind of heard yes and no. It's very demanding, if nothing else. The one thing I did read/watch was who was that? On YouTube, it's Digital Foundry was complaining about the state of the port, but IGN had a write-up. Well, not IGN. IGN contracted, what was his name? Durante, the guy who made DS Fix. They contracted him to write up a idea on how the port is, and he seemed pretty favorable about it, so I kind of trust his opinion. I do know that the game scales well up to 12 threads. 12 processor threads, rather. Not cores, but threads. So 6-core, 12-thread, you're probably fine. Lower than that, if you have, 9700K, 8-core, 8-thread, I think the game actually suffers in that regard. If everything I've been reading is right. You got to remember, it's actually weird because, when you think the consoles, you think of the PS4 at least has a very weak CPU compared to, what we would typically have in our gaming PCs. So it's kind of interesting that it's so CPU demanding and GPU demanding. I mean, the GPU, it's a purpose-built machine that, this outputs, just output games, and you have to do nothing else in the background. So it's interesting. I'm considering getting the PC version of Horizon. Not yet. I think was it $50 or something like that? That's kind of steep for me, who's already played all the way through the game. So I'll wait a little bit. But yeah, the experience of fighting against some of the machines in 60 FPS, I can imagine that just being awesome. Just the smoothest that comes, the original version locked at 30 FPS. It took a while to get used to. I will just say that. But it was really good. Lots to explore. Tons to explore. Very much like this. You loved a lot of visuals, but the gameplay annoyed you. I came to like it. There's a how do I put it? It's the Mega Man school of thought, where each of the machines has a very, very specific weakness that you can exploit. The DMC uses color bow or thing against this color spot. Abuse is high. It's not that bad. At the end of the day, it comes down to, are you trying to set them on fire, electrocute them, or are you just going for armor damage? Like, it's not full on. Well, actually, I don't want to use the Doom Eternal reference, but there's a very specific opening that you should do. You don't have to do it, but there's specific ones like the gosh, what was it? I can't even remember its name. It moves like a big cat, but it has a cannon on its back. Obviously, you want to go for the cannon first. You blow the cannon off, and then you can pick up the cannon and shoot it with it. It's I don't know. I enjoyed the combat. That could be another discussion. But yeah, I will be interested to see what they do with the second one. I imagine it'll be a timed exclusive or console exclusive for a while before they would even dream of putting it on PC. Wish it wasn't, but they have to protect their hardware sales, unfortunately. All right, I think we'll go ahead and call it for this week of streams. This was obviously an unscheduled one, but if you want to know when I'll be on next and you're curious about the ongoing schedule, those are on Facebook and Twitter that you've probably seen scrolling around through the stream, as well as I will go ahead and throw that there. Facebook and Twitter, schedule week to week. YouTube, I'm still unsure on how I want to handle this playthrough. From a YouTube standpoint, I am going to put it on there as I've put most of my other single-player playthroughs. I may just say screw it and put most of the full playthrough on there for archive. And then do a... I don't know, important parts or just me doing dumb things like floating down a river or falling down a cliff, things like that. But yeah, that's going to do it. So, those that are still hanging out, thanks for watching. Mr. Werewolf Commando, thank you for the conversation, and good to have your insight throughout the playthrough. Appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more offline. But all in all, I'm out of here. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening if you're on the East Coast, afternoon if you're on the West, anywhere in between. So, take care, stay safe, all that, fun stuff that everybody says now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.